Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. I don't know about you, but I'm often hearing about people who are addicted to video games. But very few of these reports, well, they don't really say what the addiction is, so I thought I'd dig into it a little bit. Video game addiction, sometimes referred to as internet game addiction, is defined as a problematic, compulsive use of video games that results in significant impairment to an individual's ability to function in various life domains over a prolonged period of time. Quite a mouthful of a sentence, isn't it? They generally occur when someone engages in gaming activities at the cost of everything else, and that leads to negative consequences. Current diagnosis techniques, well, they say that this has got to be happening for at least 12 months. In the 11th revision of the International Classification of Diseases from the World Health Organization, which was released in June 2018, that stated that the main criterion for the disorder is lack of self-control over gaming. This disorder, to be honest, is still poorly understood, and there's a lot of controversy and discussion among scholars and researchers, and that's ongoing to this day. The biggest issue really is whether this is an impulse control disorder or a behavioural disorder. One thing that is becoming clear though is that this disorder is generally a symptom of an underlying mental health disorder rather than being the cause of a mental health issue. To help define this disorder, the Council on Science and Public Health of the American Medical Association, they have defined gaming addiction as playing for more than 2 hours per day. This number is actually based on the American Academy of Pediatrics guideline, which states a maximum of 2 hours of screen time per day. One group, they think that gaming addiction it's an impulse control disorder, a bit similar to gambling addiction. Some players, they become more interested in their interactions within the game than in their broader life. They start to neglect personal hygiene, they gain or lose weight, they've got disruptive sleep patterns, they'll play the game at work, they'll avoid phone calls and interactions with friends. Everything is about getting on and playing the game. The American Psychological Association, they've come up with 9 criteria for characterising gaming addiction. These are preoccupation or thinking about gaming most of the time, withdrawal, feeling restless, irritable, moody when not gaming, tolerance, needing to spend more time gaming just to get the same level of pleasure. They may want to reduce or stop, but they just can't do it. They know they've got to, but they just can't. They give up other activities as the gaming takes more and more importance in their lives. They continue despite problems that the gamer is aware of and also the negative consequences, but they don't care, they still continue with the gaming. They may deceive or cover up their gaming activities. That's to make people think that there isn't an issue. They may try and escape bad moods. This is where the gamer retreats into the game to try and avoid other things that's going on. And then finally, they will lose relationships or opportunities in order to continue gaming. Research has shown that younger people and men, they're the most likely ones to have gaming addiction. It's also been shown that the average age of a gamer is 30, with 32% of gamers under the age of 18. Adolescents, they've been shown to be more at risk of this addiction than adults. There was a separate study done, and in that study it's shown that gender is actually not an indicator of the risk factor. So that's something interesting because other research, as I've already said it was males that were more at risk. So that's something interesting. And again, this is where the ongoing research is still going on. There is a strong correlation between gaming addiction and other mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, ADHD, social phobia, and other psychosocial support. Personality traits such as high neuroticism, high impulsivity, and high aggressiveness, well, they can also be predictors of gaming disorder. A combination of these, well, they appear to play a role in the acquisition, maintenance, and development of the disorder. Now, some games, they do take advantage of this. They have compulsion loops such as in-game rewards. What they're trying to do is keep people engaged, keep them playing, because that's where they make their money. Now, these loops, they lead to pleasurable responses because of the release of dopamine. And this, it's found to be very similar to things like substance abuse and gambling disorder. A number of different treatment options, they've been trialled, but the evidence for how effective they are, it's still very unclear. Cognitive behavioural treatment, that's been shown to help with some of the symptoms of the disorder, but it doesn't seem to make a change to the length of time that's spent playing. Due to this lack of effective treatments, the prevention of gaming disorder is becoming more crucial. Studies have shown that 50% of people affected by this disorder, well, they're actually able to recover naturally, but the other 50%, they need help. Now, there is an argument saying that the current reaction to gaming addiction is just a societal knee-jerk reaction. They argue, well, there's actually little known about this disorder and that the current reaction is premature based on the lack of understanding of the symptoms, proper assessment and consequences. Other researchers, well, they think this disorder, it's not an impulse control one, but rather it's a behavioural condition. They point to gamers who spend a lot of time researching, preparing for and organising playing sessions. There's a lot of planning going on, and that these actions, they're more associated with behavioural issues rather than impulse control ones. A number of the studies that are undertaken, they don't really dig into all the details about the gaming. They don't take into account the type of game, the social context, are the gamers interacting with friends whilst playing, or are the motivations of the gamers, is it like competitive, is it based on teamwork, is it based on achievement acquisition? These all should be built into assessing the condition. The best way that I've found to summarising this gaming addiction is it's a behaviour pattern that must result in significant impairment in personal, family, social, educational, occupational or other areas of functioning and would normally be apparent for more than 12 months. This was another interesting video for me to research. It's quite a broad area and it's actually quite surprising how little is known. I think going forward in the future, I think as more research comes up, we're going to get more and more information about this, and especially as we're moving towards these virtual reality headsets where it's completely immersive. I think that's where this gaming addiction may actually jump up to quite high numbers. What are your thoughts on gaming addiction? Please drop your comments down below. Have you seen it happening to other people? What were the consequences for them? Are you able to share that? I'd love to start a conversation around this. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.